Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Black Hammer once again with some more spoilers, which once again at this point I'm pretty sure you guys done seen millions of videos and pictures concerning these cards we're about to go over today. But I think my 2 cents could, kind of sway and, hopefully you guys see it from my perspective and might have a different outlook on the card because I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to some of the cards that are not, the crowd's favorite. And that's kind of how I construct my builds on cards that I know people shun away, but they're decent. So I usually try to build something, and I actually on a Friday night, just real quick, I went 4-0 with a homebrew Gruul massacre deck. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully one day I'll be able to sit down with you guys and show you. But I use cards that people didn't like, and it just smashed people. Control decks, aggro decks, mid decks, whatever you brought my way, I smashed it. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just go over these cards real quick. It's like over 60 something cards, and I want to kind of keep this video as low as possible. So once again, we're gonna breeze through the mediocre or limited cards or drafting cards, but really focus on the cards I feel that might be standardable, if that's a word. But if you're watching, please subscribe, bro. Like, if you're already subscribing now, you missed out on the $50 giveaway. You know what I'm saying? So soon enough, I'll be doing another $50, and you want to make sure that you have a chance to win. So go ahead, subscribe, and let's see what happens in the future. But our first card here is Myrad Construct, and it's a construct creature card. It's a 4-drop colorless rare. So let's see what the hell this does. It has a kicker of 3, and it says if Myrad Construct was kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each non-basic land your opponent controls. So this, goes for the flip lands, tapped lands, anything that's not a basic land. And it says when Myrad Construct becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it and create a number of 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens equal to its power. So it's already a base 4/4. So if you kick it, it has a +1 counter. If you throw 2-3 more counters, which looking at this set, it wouldn't be too hard. If your opponent goes to target, that's the key word. You have to target this spell or target this creature. So board wipes, I don't think really triggers this, but if you target this creature, you'll get at the least 5 1/1s, and I think that's actually pretty good. I think a straight artifact build is going to be pretty saucy. You know what I'm saying? And the other 2-drop that you tap in, all your artifact creatures get +1/+1 counters. That's rotating out. So you need that, that boss hog in your build if you're doing a pure artifact colorless build. Now, this is the only one I've seen so far, but if it has a couple of, sidekicks to go along with this card, I think that'll be pretty daggone saucy. So I think this is pretty well worded, and I think it's definitely going to be standard playable. Next card, we have Partner of Currents, Varazal. Cool. It's a X green blue legendary creature serpent, and it's a rare. It says when Partner of Currents enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. So it's just like that other serpent that's rotating out. Pretty much just like that. So if you pay your green and your blue and 3 extra mana, is gonna drop on the battlefield as a 3/3. And it says whenever you cast a kicked spell, you may remove 2 +1/+1 counters from this creature. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's pretty tight. I like that. I don't know if it's as good as the other serpent. When you drop it into the battlefield, you draw cards and you gain life. That kept people afloat. But this here, I could see, I don't know the color wheel, but if you play red, green, blue, and you have a lot of small little instant speeds or sorceries to play along with this card, I think that'd be pretty dope. But I don't know, we'll see. Next card we have Thundering Spark Mage. It's a 4-drop creature, human wizard. It's a common. Says when Thundering Spark Mage enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of creatures in your party. Cool. I like it. 4-drop, little high. It's a 2/2 body. If it was a 3-drop with a 1/3 body, I could see that. But a 4-drop 2/2, I mean, its real effect is just enter the battlefield. I don't think this card is built to last on the field, other than creating your party. But other than that, like, it serves its purpose. Hopefully you got a party when you play this card. But I'm a little skeptical of this party mechanic. But once again, I'm very optimistic, and hopefully I'm proven wrong. All right, next we got Nimble Trap Finder. It's a 2-drop creature human rogue, and it's a rare. It says Nimble Trap Finder can't be blocked if you had another Cleric, Road Warrior, or Wizard enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Now, just that alone is pretty tight, because you can play a creature, all of a sudden this creature can't be blocked. So if your opponent has a 20/20 creature on the other side, it's not gonna be able to block this. So that's pretty cool. So let's read the rest. It says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control gain whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card until end of turn. Let me drink some soda. Boy, Squirt is good. It's cool. The second half, you can make it work, especially if you have a wider field than your opponent. Then it'll guarantee that at least a 1/1 is going to hit your opponent. Then that's cool. Then you can draw cards. But if your opponent can block all your creatures, and it's like, well, at least this card is not going to be blocked. You know what I'm saying? So I think the upper portion of this card is going to be a little bit more relevant than the bottom half. But once again, I might get whooped by this card. So, whatever, Next card is Tazim Roll Mage. It's a 2-drop creature, Merfolk Wizard, uncommon. Says, and it has a kicker of 4. So this is potentially a 6-drop. That's crazy. All right, and it says when Tazim enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Definitely not standard. It's a 2/1 body. You're paying 6. A kicker of 4. They could have dropped the kick to 2. Yeah, and then that would have been decent. Or if you kick it for 4, it should have had the ability to play a instant or sorcery speed from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. That would have been like, oh dang. Or you can even put some restraints on it, like with mana cost 4 or less. So you just can't just go crazy with it. But other than that, I don't think this card is standard approved. All right, next we got Nimana Sky Dancer. It's a 3-drop creature human rogue, uncommon, flash flying, and it's a 2/1 body. And it says when Sky Dancer enters the battlefield, target opponent mills 2 cards. This is definitely going to be I can definitely see a blue black, a Dimir, I think that's the colors, Dimir rogue mill package, where it's not going to be a controlling build, kind of like what I'm really used to. I think it's going to be, 80% creatures, well, about 70% creatures. So like your average deck, about 24 creatures, 12 instant sorceries or planeswalkers, and 25 lands. And it's going to be a mill deck. Like, it's not going to be over aggressive on the counter spells, and might have a droplet here or there. But I mean, with all these creatures being able to mill, bro, that and then deal damage if you don't like have creatures out on the field, bro, you're gonna be having a hard time. I'm definitely building my Dimir rogue mill deck, hands down. 630. Next we got Core Celebrant, 3-drop uncommon creature, core cleric, 1/4 body. It says whenever Core Celebrant or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. Now, this would have been Mono White's, main go-to card if it was a 2-drop. But it's not. It's a 3. Definitely still playable, because you have, I'm bad with names, but you have that other, I think he's a cleric or a vampire. And whenever you gain life, your opponent loses that much life. It's a 3-drop and it's still being played. So this, I could definitely see still being utilized in some way, but it might get turned off by a lot of players with the 3-drop. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right, next we got Shatter Skull Charger. Is this the one I seen? Okay, let's read it. It's a 3-drop double red creature giant warrior, and it's a rare, so it better be tight. Oh yeah, this one's pretty tight. It's a kicker of 2, so you could essentially pay 5 mana. So that's decent. But listen, it has trample and haste. The haste is the most important thing. It says if Shatter Skull Charger was kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's a 5-drop for a 5/4. That's pretty dope. And it's a warrior. Whew. Nick, I'm about to build the best I forget the colors, but white red warriors build. It says at the beginning of your end step, return Shatter Skull Charger to its owner's hand unless it had a +1/+1 counter on it. Bro, so you can keep jabbing at your opponent on purpose. You can be like, I don't want to pay the kicker, which is only 2, which is crazy because the other card was 4 and it was whack. But this is just kicker 2, and you can keep jabbing at your opponent, especially if they don't have instant speed removal. You can just jab, get in, get out, and once it feels safe, you can go ahead, drop it down for a 5/4 warrior trampling haste. Bro, that's game over. Game over, hands down. Next, we got Skyclave Squid. Let me drink some soda. Boy, getting a little parched. You know what I'm saying? It's a 2-drop creature squid, defender, and it's an uncommon with a 3/2 body. And landfall ability says, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Skyclave Squid can attack this turn as though it didn't have defender. I think it's whack. Once again, it's probably a good draft card, but it's a 2 defense. Like, what kind of defender is 2 defense? I don't get it. But you know, they made the card, so I mean the alternate card here, the card style is pretty dope. So just that alone, I still might get that, but I don't know if I had to be like, you know, bro, we got to get this in the build no matter what. I don't think it's one of those cards, but the art is cool, so you know, it is what it is. Next, we got Relic Vial. Yeah, Vial. It's a 3-drop artifact. Uncommon. Oh, I've been getting those backwards. So the last one is a common. This is an uncommon. All right, you pay 2, tap, sacrifice a creature, draw a card. All right, cool. As long as you control a cleric, Relic Vial has, whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So there's definitely going to be a black-white cleric build, a cleric tribal. And it already has that, you know, that tax, you know, when a creature dies, gain 1 life, opponent loses 1 life type style. So this is just gonna add on to the pain. And plus there's already stuff in standard that fits into those colors that already tax when a creature dies. So it's just gonna be a lot of taxing going on. I like this card. I definitely will be building that deck. Next we have Relic Golem, and I think that's actually a pet, or is it the other one? I think it's the other one. It's a 3-drop artifact creature golem, uncommon, with a 6/6 body. Pretty dope. It says Relic Golem can't attack or block, kind of figured, unless an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Bro, have you seen these cards? 8 cards in your opponent's graveyard is going to be nothing. I think if that's a common theme that people are going to be doing, trying to, you know, rush to get cards in your graveyard, it might be good for someone to have in their sideboard a card to get your graveyard back into your library. Now, I don't know if the card that I'm thinking of is going to be rotating out. I don't think so. I hope not. Because, bro, getting 8 cards in a graveyard could be done in like 4 turns. And all of a sudden you got a 3-drop 6/6. And his ability is pay 2, tap this creature, target player mills 2 cards. So you get this on turn 3, and by 4 turns, your opponent has 8 cards. And I mean, and that's not counting your opponent, you know, scrying for, or you know, Fable Passage, or playing cards of their own. Like, that's gonna be gross. Next we got Deliberate. 2 mana, 1 blue, instant speed. It says scry 2, then draw a card. This is going to be pretty dope. I can actually see this being played a lot, especially along with ops, because you can scry 1, draw 1. This is scry 2, draw 1. So I mean, for Teferi's tutelage, bro, this is good. You can draw a card and scry and set up your next turn, and it's only 2. So I think that's a winner chicken a dinner. Next we got Tuk Rubble Fort. It's a 3-drop, 2 colors, 1 red, creature wall, defender and reach. Creatures you control have haste, and it's a 3 body. Now I like that. Um, I'm not sure if it's going to be standard because there's a wall actually that's a colorless and it's an artifact wall and it has defender and it has a toughness of 4 and you tap and all creatures have haste on your side. Of course your creatures have haste and it's a 2-drop and I don't see that card being played. And I tried it in my own builds, and if you don't get it, and you're kind of basing your creatures, 3 drops and greater after that, because you kind of want that, that rotation, like play that turn 2, play a big creature, turn 3, tap, give it haste, turn 4, drop a 4-drop, tap it, give it haste. If you're looking for that rollout, cool. But if you don't get that on turn 2, you're going to have a slow deck. You know what I'm saying? And it might feel a little clunky because you were expecting that 2-drop. Now, this is a 3-drop. So it's like, could you have both? I don't know. You might have 4 of the 2-drops and maybe 1 of these just to kind of make sure you have some haste element in your deck. I don't know. But we didn't see no play on the other one. So I kind of doubt it if we will have play on this one. So I don't know. We'll see. Next, we have Smite the Monstrous. It's a 3-drop, 1 planes, instant speed, common. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. This is definitely like a sideboard. It's not bad or just drafting. Standard, probably not, or not in your main build. It would be gross if this was like a 3-drop. Then it'd be like, okay, I see what you're doing, But 4-drop, I don't know. Now, this is the card I was waiting for. We got Kargan, War Leader, 3-drop, 1 red, 1 plains, creature, human, warrior. Check this out. And it's an uncommon. Check it. Other words you control get +1/+1. And it's a 3/3 body. Get 'em. Get 'em. Bro, this right here is what Warriors has been needing. Not what Knights is garbage. And I know it's garbage because I tried plenty of times. Now, Mardu Knights is quick, but if you don't get what you need, it's garbage. And the knight that produces tokens is human tokens, not knight tokens. That's so garbage. But this right here is, it's an uncommon, so I should have millions of them when the set comes out. But this card right here should be rare. Should be rare. I don't know why, but I don't care. I'm going to have plenty of them. Next, we have Strength of Solidarity. It's a 1 forest, sorcery speed, common. Choose target creature you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature in your party. I like it. It's a 1-drop, so you can't be mad. If it was a 0-drop, it'd be even better, but it's not. So 1-drop for something kind of really basic like this, that's perfect. So if someone does build a party deck, here comes the corny joke. This card is invited to the party for sure. No doubt. Hands down. 630. Next, we got Null Priest of Oblivion. It's a 2-drop creature vampire cleric. It's a rare. And it has a kicker of 4. So that's going to be a 4 colorless and 2 black. So 6-drop. Oh, man. I don't want to read it. It feels like I'm going to get disappointed. All right. It has menace and lifelink. All right. When Null Priest of Oblivion enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. So if you don't kick it, it's a 2-drop, 2/1 body, menace lifelink. Garbage stats. If you're playing this as a 2-drop, I think you just need bodies on the field. And, 2 life, cool. Other than that, it's not worth it. But if you're playing a black-green build that takes cards from your graveyard, reanimate them, this is the card. I mean, it's a 4, 5, 6 drop. It'd be a little more somewhat broken if it was a 5 drop, because that's a little bit more reachable without having 28 lands in your deck. But other than that, I can see it. That's it's cool. They kind of kept it out of reach for being too broken. It has you working for it. 6 mana. It sounds simple, but it's harder than it sounds. You know what I'm saying? You got to have 27, 28 lands to kind of safely get to 6 lands, hitting them every turn. But other than that, yeah, I like it. You know what I'm saying? Can't complain too much. Next card, we have a double card. All right, a flip card. The first half, we have a 2-drop, instant speed, 1 colorless, 1 blue, and it says creatures your opponent control gets -2, -0 until end of turn. Now, this is what I always wanted to build: a blue-red creature deck with 8 to 10 spells, or not spells. That's every card. 8 to 10 instants or sorcery cards. And to kind of help a creature build. And of course, with blue, you don't have sweepers. You just have a lot of tap cards. But this one right here is a little bit more aggressive. So if you do attack, or if your opponent attacks, you can knock their power down. And it's really cheap. That and 2 is a lot. Now, if it was -1, -0, then it's like maybe. But -2, -0, that's pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? So the flip side, of course, is a blue land, and it comes in tapped. So you can't really lose playing this in your build, or at least in mine, because I definitely will be using this card. Next, we have a mythic. Let's see what the hell this is. All right, Ancient Green Warden. It's a 6-drop, double green, double forest, creature elemental. It has reach, and it says you may play lands from your graveyard. That's gross. It's going to be a lot of self-mill decks. This will definitely be utilized. And it says, if a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. I'm additionally say this card is awesome. So if you have a landfall elemental build, this will be one of your finishers. And when I say finisher, not like it's just gonna beat your opponent itself. If you have 2-3 decent creatures with amazing landfall abilities, bro, like you can play land from your hand and then play a land from your graveyard, I believe. Maybe not. It says you may play lands from your graveyard, so that may not be the case, but still, by turn 6 you may not have lands in your hand. Hopefully not, because by turn 6, if you got lands in your hand, you're running a lot of lands in your deck. But still, like, you're going to be hitting your landfall abilities no matter what with this card on the field. Hands down, 630. This card is amazing. Next, we got Base Camp. Not pump up the base, but just like a HQ camp. It's a land card, uncommon. Base camp enters the battlefield tap. So this is like the knights, the knights land where it's only specific for knights. It says you can tap it for a colorless mana, or tap it and it says add 1 mana of any color, which is definitely needed. And it says spend this mana only to cast a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard spell. Excuse me. Or to activate an ability of a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. So that's pretty dope. I like it. It definitely will, like I say, they're pushing the hell out of this party mechanic. And I didn't watch the video, the live stream video they did a couple days ago or a week. And, they're doing their Dungeons and Dragons set next year. I never played Dungeons and Dragons, never, took interest of it. So I'm not sure if this has to do with that, but they're pushing the hell out of this party mechanic, and this land will help. I mean, it does its job. So let's go to the next one. Ooh, this squirt is good, boy. That's citrus. All right, Roost of Drakes. Ah, damn, here comes the Drakes. So 1 drop, island enchantment. Wow, a 1 drop enchantment. It has a kicker of 3. So essentially you're paying 4 double blue. Says when Roost of Drakes enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a 2/2 blue drake creature token with flying. It says whenever you cast a kick spell, create a blue drake creature token with flying. Now this card is the definition of versatile. Let me explain. You play it on turn 1. That means turn 1 you're already putting your foot on the gas, because next turn you could kick something and it's just gonna kick your opponent right in the forehead. You know what I'm saying? But if you get this in the late game, it's not gonna be like, oh man, I wish I had to. I mean, you're gonna want this card at the beginning, but it's not gonna be, oh, I just gotta play 1 mana and it's gonna do nothing until I kick a card. It's like, no, you get this in the mid game, kick the card, and it all of a sudden produces a 2/2 token with flying. So it's like you play it at the beginning of your turn, your next turn value, you know what I'm saying? Because in turn 1, like, ain't nothing happening but you, because you're gonna be playing this turn 1 and your opponent is gonna start sweating. Guarantee it, hands down. 630. This card is official. Next we have Deems Awakening. I know I said that so wrong, but it's okay. It's cool. Not the end of the world. It's a 3 swamp and X sorcery speed mythic, and it's a flip card. And on the first side it says return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost, X or less. So this is definitely late game card, because of course you got to build up your graveyard. Like I said, if you're playing black green, I think that's going to be so gross. Or if your opponent's just milling the hell out of you, hopefully you have this card in your hand. You pay 3 swamps, and let's just say you pay 4 extra. So you're paying 4, 5, 6, 7 mana total. You get any number of creatures that have 4 mana cost or less. So you get essentially just bring out a whole buttload of creatures. So I think this card, and the flip side of it is it's a land, so you don't have to really sweat too much getting this in the early game. And it says When this card enters the battlefield as a land, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. So this is the next version of, not a shock, because a shock is 2 life. So this is more of a, I forget the old school 3 damage card, but you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure. But I like this card. It's a mythic, so save up your mythic cards because you're gonna definitely need that one. All right, this one is the same thing. Oh, it's just different art. Got you. All right, so next we have, boom, right here, Undo Inversion. Oh, Jesus. 8 drop, 2 planes, sorcery speed, rare, destroy all non-land permanents. So this is where, you know, control deck is like, hey, we done had enough. It's too much going on this battlefield. It's time to start anew. You're pretty much playing God, saying, hey, we're done with this. We're gonna have to start over. And the best part of it is the other side of this card. It's just the one land. It's just the one land. Okay, this card right here is the best. Okay, the best in the world. Okay, I guarantee it. It's the best ever. Okay. I think it's pretty dope. This card is definitely, and it comes in on the other side as a land, so it's not going to be a dead card ever, because when can you not use a land at the beginning of your game? And at the late game, like, you're holding on to this card because you're going to cast it, so it's never going to be a dead card. So I'm getting 4 copies, hands down. 630 official. Next we have Kazandu Valley. This is a, where is the flip side of this? It's an elephant on the other side. Where's this elephant, bro? I honestly don't know where this elephant is, but we're gonna find it. Let's click on it. Let's see what happens. Ooh, they didn't put the other side of this card. All right, that's fine. Let's go ahead. Go back here. Find our, okay, so it's a land, and it comes in the battlefield tap for a green. So yeah, that'll work. Same with this card. Oh, okay, this is the other side of this here. So yeah, this 8 drop, other side is a land, and that's this right here. Cool. Now let's go to Forsaken Monuments. It's a 5 drop legendary artifact, mythic. Says colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Bro, had to take a drink for that one. This card right here, definitely a 2 of. Yeah, a 2 of. As you see, it's a $20 card. That's crazy. Oh wait, it has more. It says colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless mana, add an additional colorless mana. Wow. And it has more. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. This card is pretty daggone tight. You know the rest. Hands down, 630 official. Next we have Skyclave Relic. Sounds like we already said that. It's a 3 drop artifact. Kicker of 3, so you could pay 6. Indestructible. Says when Skyclave Relic enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create 2 tap tokens that are copies of Skyclave Relic. And it produces mana. Wow. So on turn 6, you could play this and have 3 available mana right then and there. Indestructible. Your opponent ain't getting rid of this. This card is tight. I'm actually getting more excited of this set. Next we have, now this card I think is going to be pretty useful. Wayward Guide Beast. It's a 1-drop for red creature beast, and it's a rare, a 1-drop rare with trample and haste. Says whenever Wayward Guide Beast deals combat damage to a player, which it will on turn 1, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Now, it doesn't say you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. So, now that I read it, it's a $5 card. I don't know if people really read it, but on turn 1, you go first. You play this, you attack, deal combat damage to your opponent. You have to pick up your land, right? And you can't play another land that turn because you obviously already played a land. So I don't know. This is one of those head scratchers. That right there. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm gonna scratch my head, and it's like, may I? I'll have to see it to see if that's true. The art is tight. I like the art. Other than that, it's like, all right, sure, if you want to do that to yourself, but go for it. Next, we have a pretty amazing card. Definitely love the art. Hopefully, the text is just as good. It says it's a 3-drop territorial scythe cat. Okay. It's like Green Panther. Instead of black or pink, is Green Panther. Or is that a Sabretooth? I don't know. It's a 3-drop creature cat for a common. 2/1 body trample. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on territorial scythe cat. If it would be better if it was a 2-drop, honestly. 3-drop, like I said, 3-drop to me at least is real important. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of like, you know, in the mid to kind of set up the layup. You know what I'm saying? Like 1-drop and 2-drop is dribbling down the court. 3-drop is, you know, the trick shot where you bounce it on the backboard, and 4 or 5 is the dunk. You know what I'm saying? So 3-drop to me is really important for a setup. I don't know if this cuts it. If it was a 2-drop, that'd be better. 3-drop, yeah, it might be a little too slow. You just got a 2/1 for turn 3. Good job. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but we'll see. Next, we have Master of Winds, a funky looking card, but it's a 4-drop, double blue, creature, Sphinx Wizard, rare, flying, 1/4 body. When Master of the Winds enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. All right, cool. Drawing 2 cards for 4-drop. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery or wizard spell, you may have Master of Winds base power and toughness become 4/1 or 1/4 until end of turn. So it's already 1/4, so I guess they had to specifically say that to not break it. I don't know, but that's pretty cool. Like, if your opponent doesn't have no other flying creatures or nothing with reach, then you can, you know, safely hit your opponent with 4/1. Or if you need some defense, just keep it as a 1/4. So I think that's pretty decent. Could be worse. It could be like a 6-drop trying to do that. Woo. All right. So next, I'm still looking for that elephant, bro. Let's see. Is this the other side of this? All right. So we're missing the instant speed of this card. And the elephant. What the hell's going on? All right. This is just a one tap mana. Boom. There you go. One tap mana. Easy enough. All right. Next, we got Fireblade Charger. 1-drop, red. Creature Goblin Warrior. Uncommon 1/1 body. And it says, as long as Fireblade Charger is equipped, it has haste. Okay. So if you play this turn 3, equipped it with something, 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4. I don't know. It has haste, so it's not really a waste when you play it in a mid game or even in the late game if you have a bomb equipped card to put it on. So it's cool. I like it. If it was a 2/1, that might be like a little better, but it says when Fireblade Charger dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. That part makes it a lot better because they be playing around when it says to a creature or planeswalker. It's like, nah, I want to hit face. You know what I'm saying? So that makes this card playable. It's a warrior, so I definitely might be running 3 copies of this card. So, yeah, I like it. All right, next we got Scion of the Swarm. It's a 5-drop, double black, creature, vampire, cleric, uncommon, 3/3 body. Has flying, and it says whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on this card. Now it's a cleric, so I'm pretty sure there's cards where whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life, and then all of a sudden you got a 4/4 for a 5-drop with flying. So that's a little better. But other than that, I don't know if black is gonna have better selections for a 5-drop. But if not, this is a budgetable 5-drop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it can do some damage. Like I said, on a turn it comes in because there's plenty of cards when a creature enters the battlefield, you gain life, or if a creature dies, you gain life, and then on your next turn, you can definitely gain life. So there you go, and it says whenever, so you can gain life multiple times on that turn and just keep collecting +1/+1 counters. So it's just like a Johnny's Pride mate, but more gangster looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's pretty simple. Next we got Soaring Thought Thief. We got thoughts that are flying. you know, because thoughts is like that hole over there. Anyways, this is a 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 swamp, creature, human, rogue, uncommon, 1/3 body with flash, flying, and it's a rogue, so that's important. Listen up. It says as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, like I said, they're pushing at 8 or more. Rogues you control get +1/+0. It better not have. Oh my god! Whenever one or more rogues control attacks, your opponent mills 2 cards. Bro, mill is going to be such a headache to people. You already have tutelage getting on people's nerves. You already had mill, mono blue mill, that if you get caught slipping, it will whoop you. And trust me, I've done it to plenty of people. Then you have your various blue, red, blue, white tutelage mill package. Now you're going to have your Demir rogue mill build. This is going to be, I actually got excited. So this card, hands down, 630 is official. Next, we have Glasspool Mimic. I read this one on Instagram. It's a 3-drop, Double-sided card, creature shape shifter rogue. Well, I can't say that quick. It's a rare, and it says, and it's a 0/0 body. Interesting. You may have Glass Pool Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control, except it's a shape shifter rogue in addition to its other types. So this is cool. And the other half is a land. So this card is going to be in builds no matter what. Guarantee it, bro. You can just add the creature we were just talking about. You know what I'm saying? So you can have +2/+2 to all your rogues. And then whenever rogues attack, your opponent mills 4 cards. Oh my gosh. Bro. People are going to be calling for a ban for a lot of cards in this set. Guarantee it, bro. It's going to be like, we got to ban this card. We got to ban this card. Hands down, 630, this card is official. Oh, Jesus. This is going to be nasty, bro. All right, we have Thundering Rebuke. Ooh, this is gross. 2-drop, 1 mountain, sorcery speed, so that saves a lot of headache. Well, a little headache, because this card is gross. It's an uncommon. Thundering Rebuke deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Now, they're really trying to push this party mechanic, and then you introduce a 2-drop that deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. I don't see a future for party mechanic. Like I said, it's going to be for fun, but I don't see a future for parties, bro. Like, this is coronavirus, and this is here to kill parties. You feel me? So, yeah. That's gonna suck. Next we have Sizzling Barrage. 2-drop, instant speed, common. Sizzling Barrage deals 4 damage to target creature that blocked this turn. Bro, this is good for a Warriors deck. A Warriors build for real. Because you can go ahead, attack with 3/4 creatures. You know what I'm saying? You know someone's gonna die. And let's say there's just, a 6/6 body on the field, and it took 2 damage from one of your creatures. Go ahead, play this, finish it off. Easy, bro. Oh, man. This set is going to be pretty saucy, bro. We got Fiddler's Retreat. 4-drop, enchantment, rare. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1. Creature, or create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If it just said that, that'd be cool. But then it says those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. So this is definitely for a cat. I could definitely see this for a cat build, just for sure. And the alternate art is amazing, bro. That's pretty tight. I like that. And it's a $5 card, pretty much. All right, we got Shadow's Verdict. 5-drop, sorcery speed, rare. Exile all creatures and planeswalkers with converted mana cost 3 or less. Is there any plane with 3 or less? Okay. From the battlefield, and all creature and planewalker cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from the. Now this is going to be Euro's worst nightmare, because it's a 3-drop, and if it's on a field, it's exiled. If it's in a graveyard, it's exiled. So, I mean, good luck. Like, we're taking out the graveyard, and we're taking out the battlefield. So, this is a sweeper, bro. Like, it's not destroy the whole field, but if you're playing a lot of little niggas on the field, like, they're getting taken out quick. So next we have I don't know. Gloom Hunters, 2-drop, creature, zombie, bat, common, 1/1 body. And it has a kicker of 4, so you're paying 4, 5, 6 for this. And it has flying and lifelink. And it says if this creature was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So essentially be a 3/3, not for a 6. So it definitely is a draft or limited or just for fun deck. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too special about it. So, but the art is cool. I like it. Next we have, this card is gross. And the alternate art is pretty dope. It's Auron, Reef, Ooze, 3-drop, creature, Ooze, rare, 2/2 body. When Ooze enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Pretty dope. Whenever Ooze attacks, so this card has to attack, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. So you attack with this card and attack with other creatures that have +1/+1 counters on it, then they get an extra +1/+1 counter. So it's a lot that you got to do. Keep this card safe because it's only a 2/2, so it can easily get shocked. You know what I'm saying? So beware. And you have to have, it assists you with that when it enters the battlefield, but if you're attacking with more creatures with +1 counters, it's a little better. So, it's a lot of little here and there's that you got to do to make this like freakishly nasty, but it's decent. You know what I'm saying? A green-white build that already doubles +1 counters, so this definitely fits right in there easily. So next we have a card that we read already. Next we have, okay, so on the other side of this card is a land card. This is the elephant. So here's some of the cards that we should have been reading up top. So this is Basswood Fortification, 1-drop forest, instant speed, uncommon. Other side is a forest. And it says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Easy, quick, simple, quick to the point. Next we have Negate. We all know Negate. 2-drop, instant speed, counter target non-creature spell. Non-creature keyword. Next card we have the elephant that we've been looking for. The elephant in the room was not that easy to find. 3-drop, double green, creature elephant, rare, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Kazandu Mammoth gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If you have, what's that card? That green enchantment, whenever a creature with 4 toughness enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and all your homies have trample. If you somehow manage to get 2 lands on the field, what's the creature, lost but seeking or something like that, where you get to play an additional land on your turn. Bro, this is what, a 7/7 with trample. Gross. A 7/7 with trample. Wow. Play cultivate on turn 4. You have a 7/7. Somehow get trample on it, and that's pretty much done. So easy. And an alternate art is pretty dope. Next we have Skyclave Shade, 2-drop, creature shade, rare, 3/1 body, kicker for 3. So we're essentially paying 4 wait, 3, 4, 5. So you're playing 5. Skyclave Shade can't block. I mean, it's a 3/1, so if Skyclave Shade was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So it'll be a 5/2, a 5/3. I'm tripping. Okay, so it kind of sucks that you can't block, but landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if Skyclave is in your graveyard and it's your turn, you may cast it from your graveyard this turn. Wow. So this card is just going to be coming back again and again, but it can't block. So I think that saves it from being broken. So in a late game, if you can pay 5 mana like nothing, you're gonna have. Now if it had haste, that'd be broken. But if you have, a creature that gives it haste, then that's pretty gross. So the alternate art the alternate art is pretty dope. I like it. All right. Oh, we got an equipment finally. We have Scavenged Blade, 2-drop, 1 mountain, artifact equipment, common. When Blade enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Once again, like I said, that attach it to target creature you control once it enters the battlefield will save equipments. It'll make it relevant. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. So you can play this. Play a creature turn 1. Play a warrior turn 1. Turn 2. Give it a +2/+2 boost. Let your opponent not have a creature on the field by turn 2. They're gonna get hit with 3, maybe 4, if you got it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like it, and hopefully it has a alternate art, because I already like this one. But if it's got that nice little thing they got going on in the background, that'd be dope. All right, last card, because your boy is tired. I've been talking for an hour, bro. That's crazy. All right, we got Grek Maw, Skyclave Ravager. It's a 3-drop, swamp, forest, legendary creature, Hydra Horror. And it's a rare. 0/0 body at the beginning. And it says, when this creature enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. So off the bat, it's going to be essentially 0/0. So if you have the 2-drop black card, instant speed, that kills a creature with no counters or minus 2 counters, then this card is gonna suck against that, because it has a base power of 0/0. So if you get rid of all the counters, it's gonna die. But it's cool because it says, whenever another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So it has a way to build up counters fairly easy. Like, that's ridiculous. Says, when this creature dies, create, this is the gross part, create an XX black and green Hydra creature token, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on this card. So if you play this card, it comes in with 3. And if your opponent quickly kills it, you're going to have a 3/3 token. Like, that's peekaboo. You know what I'm saying? Peekaboo, nigga. Like, that quick. That's pretty gross. And especially if you have some janky build where, white, black, green, where you have the creature that doubles it adds, I'm sorry, it adds a +1/+1 counter. That's 4 easily right there. So, like, can we say gross? Or here's the slogan. This card is hands down 630 official. So, and it's a $5 card. So I'm pretty sure that's going to go a tad bit higher. It may not be crazy used, but I like it. Not too bad. It's only a 3 drop, bro. Like, should be a 5, but I ain't complaining. All right, guys. If you guys survived this hour of me rambling and talking, you are a hammer. You are a hammer amongst these nails. And you can tell them Black Hammer said so. And you can tell them Black Hammer said so. They ain't gonna do nothing. But once again, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of this hammer club, this hammer tool shed, being part of this tool shed. I might make that a thing. I don't know. And definitely, hands down, 630 officially will see me or hear me, more likely see me in the next video. Peace.